Okay, well, we are back. I tried to go live just a second ago, but my cat Barry here laid on the keyboard and clicked end stream. Unbelievable, terrible behavior from my cat. So welcome back. And my stream deck has decided to die as well today, which is really great. 1 second. We're back. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. My cat has totally had us over today. At least he's really cute. But anyway, first safety car of the night is welcome to the stream. My name's Blake, aka Break. If you're new to the stream, hello, welcome. And if you're watching this on YouTube after the race, don't worry. I'll add some timestamps so you can skip forward to it. But I think there's some stuff you want to hang out before the race. So we're going to talk about what's happened yesterday. We're going to talk about the sprint race and what we can take away and learn and probably think about what's going to happen in the Grand Prix. But before we get into any of that, Sainz will not be starting the race. He's had fuel cell issues. So we will have no Carlos Sainz in the race. Perez is taking a new engine. He will start from the back. He had a little tangle with Ocon and Hülkenberg yesterday. And then we'll talk about the sprint, what we learned from that. And then also, Pirelli have said, you guys can't do more than 18 laps on a tire. We'll tell you how many laps. So we'll talk about that and what that means for race strategy. And then we'll chat a little bit before the race starts. We've got the Grand Prix starting in about 17 minutes. So if you just want to get to the action and you're watching this later on YouTube, hit that fast forward button or click on the chapters. But I think you're going to miss out if you don't. Also, quickly, this is Barry. Barry, say hello. He killed the first stream instance. I apologize for that. If you haven't clicked the like button, on YouTube already, please do. Then I put out a feeler yesterday or the day before, and I said, what if I started putting some of my analysis content out in audio format? Because I know a lot of you like to listen to podcasts on the way to work, when you're in the gym, when you're working, or you just don't like watching podcast type content over on YouTube. That's fine. So Break F1 is now on Spotify. It will also be on Apple Music later, but their setup process is super convoluted. So have a look on your favorite podcast platform. And if you don't see it, send me a message in the Discord, which is in the description below, and let me know where you want to see the podcast, and I'll get it up. And yeah, we're gonna have some really cool stuff on that. Cool. Dude, Mostly Parked, thank you for the $10 super chat. Tires. I'm tired. We're going to talk about tires all day today. Barry is also tired. Right, buddy? Right, sleepy man. Softs, yeah. Let's get into the sprint too long didn't read version. So what we learned from the sprint yesterday is basically half the grid started on a soft to yeet it, and half the grid started on a medium. The soft tires were not the play. Russell did manage a very reasonable race on the soft tire. But, I think that was massively saved by the safety cars, all three of them, which was basically half of the sprint race was safety car. So that made the soft tire look viable. But even then, at the end of Russell's, 10 racing laps that he did, he was 2 seconds a lap off of the medium runners. That's a huge, it wasn't really clear to me at the time. Then I look back, I was like, oh my God, that's terrible. Another thing as well, Sainz started on a fresh soft, and he struggled substantially more than Russell on a 4-lap old set of softs. And even Leclerc that started on a 7-lap set, Russell, yeah, correction, let me go back. Sainz started on a fresh soft. Russell on a 4-lap old soft, and Leclerc on a 7-lap old soft. Russell, out of those guys, did the best, but I don't think that we saw Leclerc's potential, despite the fact that the soft was not a good tire, because I think Sainz was basically pushing him back. If you looked at the data, Sainz was basically a train there. And there is a question whether or not he hit the soft tire too hard and grained it from the outset and really killed the pace. Piaz, Verstappen, and Norris, all medium tires on the podium. I put Perez in my notes. Oops. Verstappen within 2 seconds of Piastri at the end of the race. Norris still had more pace in hand at the end of the race. Norris was moving pretty quickly after he came through traffic. But as a result of this, it's really difficult to assess the team's pecking order, because we had basically people on a super slow, terrible soft tire, or we had people on medium tires in traffic behind some of the slow soft tire runners. So, you know, that's really like when people are trying to extrapolate from what we learned yesterday. First of all, nobody did any meaningful running at high fuel on Friday. Like, they did some high fuel runs. They were not particularly useful or meaningful high fuel runs because the track was ramping up so much. So, yeah. I would say expect the soft tire to be good for no more than 8 to 10 laps. I don't think it's likely to be a favorable start tire because you will have to pit after lap 8. And if you're towards the front, you're just literally going to pit either off the back of traffic, which could be okay. Or if you're a much faster car, you're going to pit into the gaggle of cars that are struggling. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of the back markers like P15 and lower. Maybe some of them try starting on a soft and hope for a little bit of chaos, but I just really don't think that's the one. I need to make a note here. But yeah, dude, everybody in the stream over on YouTube, welcome. If you guys are new, do be sure to say hello. I see a lot of the regular faces, a lot of the usuals, a lot of new people here. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Today we're gonna, and if you're not, let's before we get into the Pirelli Tire Life limitations for the race, if you're not using multi-viewer for F1 to watch Formula One, you're missing out. Definitely multi-view for F1 and F1 TV Pro is the best way. Lots of new faces in the chat, lots of old faces in the chat. Loster Mail, Sabu, Mortifies, Uncle Elias, hello. Goosehome, Jessica, hello. James, FX Laser Blue, Quabs, Caroline, hello. Caroline's got a great question. We'll get into that, but I think that's a good segue straight into this. Caroline asks, do they still have to do the 2 compounds with this tire life issue? Arguably, yes, that rule still exists, but even then, nobody has enough mediums to do an entire race on a single tire. Nobody will do an entire race on softs. So if you don't use all the compounds, you're gonna have a shit race. I mean, like, I think Max has the most available laps on a medium, and he's got 1835. 52 laps. Let's do that real quick. 18 plus 17 plus 17. Max can do 52 laps on a medium. It's a 57 lap race. Barry, get off the keyboard. Hey, you're a little dummy. Quit pushing on the keyboard. He was typing in the Google chat or the YouTube chat to you guys. Barry, you're nothing but trouble, buddy. He's been super sweet. So let's get into that actually. So here's what Pirelli have said. You have a mandatory maximum 18 laps tire life that you can use. And they've submit a table, which I'll show you here in just a second, which shows you how many laps everybody has remaining on every tire set they have left. If you break that rule, you'll be referred to the stewards. It's a 57 lap race, which means basically you need 4 stints. Most people can do hard, medium, but there might be a chance that some people do hard, medium, soft. Because the final stint, if the mediums can do their max, if you can run the mediums to Pirelli's limits, the medium will probably be okay, and you'll have a handful of laps, like 5 or 6 laps left for most people to do on a soft at the end, so that could work. There is no allowance. So let's say that there's 10 laps of safety car. All those laps count, even though obviously the loads and stress on it are substantially reduced. But the reason Pirelli are doing this, and Mario Isola put out a comment yesterday to say something to the effect of, there wasn't an issue with this construction. It's the fact that the sidewalls don't like the damage, which is basically there is something wrong with the construction of the tire. And they did not anticipate the insane loads that the high-speed turn 12, 13, 14. I mean, these are 240 kilometer an hour corners, and you're spending a lot of time inside track limits, loaded up on these 2-inch tall pyramid curbs that are like this, and that kind of sawtooth with that much lateral deflection on the tire. You're putting lots of stress into, let's do this way. You're putting lots of stress into here's the sidewall, and here's the tread. You're putting lots, oh, Barry fell. Barry, no. Barry just fell off the desk. You're putting lots of stress into the tire's deflecting, loading over, and you're putting lots of stress with these pyramid curves that are hitting the tire like this, and that's hurting the tires a lot. David says this sounds a lot like 2005 Indy. Yeah, they did change the track yesterday for sprint shootout and sprint race, but it's basically just moved it such that if you are outside of track limits, you will be on those curbs. So, yeah. Dude, Turbo GSR with the US $20 super chat. There's a very interesting video from F1 from Suzuka showcasing the Honda engine. It really shows the beauty of the power unit, top line power with the exceptional packaging. It is really true what Nui said, car engineering driver to win championship. Yeah, the Honda have done such a spectacular job with a rough start in Formula One, and they've absolutely killed it. Turbo GSR, dude, thank you so much for the $20 super chat, man. That's so generous and kind of you. Sainz blatantly saw this morning and bashed the engine with a spanner so he could peace out. You know what? I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it. So let's look at the tires real quick and just quickly talk about some of the stuff that we could be seeing in the race today. So Verstappen's got 18, 17, 17 laps. So this table shows you how many laps remaining. 0 means that the tire is not in the pool anymore, or it's done its maximum life. 0 means that the tires have been returned, which you do have to return tires. So that's normal. I think most people will start on a medium or a hard. The thing is, I think the medium can do 18 laps, and I think the hard can do 18 laps. And I am not certain, I'm not saying there isn't, but I'm not certain there's not much of a performance difference between the hard or the medium. And I believe that's why they've looked at changing the C2, which I believe is the medium this weekend, to make it a closer split between the C1 and C3. So I feel like the hard and medium, not too much difference. I think, as we talked about before, you don't want to do more than probably 8 laps on a soft tire. So looking at this, I would not be surprised to see people doing hard, medium, medium, and then a soft at the end. I mean, several people have a new soft to use. So yeah, I think that's probably, yeah, I think that's probably it. Yesterday was fun. I hope it for a banger. I hope yesterday, I think today will be a good race. I think it's going to be chaotic. But yeah, quickly, before we get to the race start, let's look quickly at the starting grid, and then we'll swap over, get the live timing sorted out, and we'll get moving. Do watch live, and we'll pop up the live timing screen, get that feed going. So let's look quickly at the starting grid. We've got 6 minutes until lights out, and I want to switch gears. So Verstappen leads George Russell on the front row. I think the Mercedes will be strong, but I do not think the Mercedes are on pace with the Red Bull or the McLaren. I think the pecking order is Red Bull, McLaren, Mercedes slightly behind that. Lewis Hamilton starting P3, Fernando Alonso P4, Charles Leclerc 5th, Piastri 6th, Gasly 7th, Ocon 8th, Bottas 9th, Lando Norris 10. I expect Lando. I would love to see a Lando P5 today. I think P5 or P4 is possible. P3 I think is absolute maximum for Lando, considering where he started. Piastri might be able to move up a little bit further, but it all depends on the laps. Isaac with a great point. I'll come right back to you. Sainz from 12th dips out. So I'm not sure if the grid will be reshuffled. But Perez is starting from the pit lane. Zhou, Lawson, Kevin at the back. Nothing too exciting there. And I think the big question is, will we see a cluster at the pit stop? I think teams will be thinking about that if everybody's booting into the grid. I think that we will see teams pitting a lap early, potentially to avoid the gaggle of cars. I'm not saying it's a certainty, but I'm saying it's possibly likely. Pirelli agreed with the FIA, the maximum stint rule. I don't know if they consulted the teams. I'm sure they got some feedback, but ultimately, this is a tire safety issue. And I heard a lot of people saying, why don't you just leave it up to the teams? And to me, that's a really stupid thing, because tire failures are not a joke, especially in these kind of cars. That's the kind of thing that puts people in very, very bad positions and can seriously hurt people. And you should not leave that up to the teams to risk it. You should say, take all the data that you've got, make the best decision that you've got so that people can safely finish the lap. And punctures and blowouts and stuff happen. And if you know that they're likely to happen, you should definitely avoid it happening. If you're watching on multi-viewer, I would set your offset delay to 43 seconds or 43,000 milliseconds. That will make sure that you are synced up with me, and I will be synced up to the race feed. Will anyone risk a black and white flag trying to overcut? The problem is, if you exceed the maximum lap rule, you will be referred to the stewards, and I do not think they will. I'm sure they've had an agreement to say, listen, if you exceed this, it's a 10-second penalty or something. I think they've been quite harsh to discourage people trying to do this. It's referred to the stewards, so it's either a disqualification or something very disgustingly penalizing. It's not a black and white. Okay, so 2 things from Yepa that he's clarified. There will be an empty grid slot for signs, and then it's not a black and white flag. My fault. It's a black flag. So if you go over 18 laps, that's a disqualification. So nobody will take the piss on this. Yeah, that's a good point. I completely missed that. I saw a black and white flag. That's what happens when I read Twitter. Yikes. So yesterday, one of the things we learned also that the safety cars and then the race start, the soft tire was really, really good on the race start. And George also played a couple of games where he backed everybody up and slowed everybody right down to drop their mediums out of the window and cool them off a bit. And he absolutely hooned it. Will from Work in the chat, what an absolute Warzone legend. I bet you cannot wait for the next version of Warzone. Great to see another gaming content creator in the chat, dude. Welcome to the stream, guys. If you love Warzone, you will love Will from Work. Go drop him a follow, check him out. I love this. The worlds are colliding, man. Motorsport and video games are here. Interestingly, I do believe the tires are up to date. And let's go over to our timing feed. So we've got, if you look over here, just on the side of the screen here, it looks like Verstappen used medium, Russell used medium, Hamilton, new soft. So everybody's on a medium except for Hamilton, Bottas, Lawson, Magnussen. I'm not sure if Hamilton's on mediums or soft, sorry. Perez is in the pit lane. It says he's on a hard. Perez is in the pit lane with a hard on. So we're on the grid right now. On board looking at Norris is what I'm seeing right now. Asian Skills asks, is there a reason for having the 3 pit stop mandate? Yes, there is. So just to reiterate for anybody just tuning in, the 3 stop is limited by Pirelli saying these tires are not safe to do more than 18 laps. I'm on multi-viewer and my offsets are 43 seconds. So Hamilton starting on the soft tire. This is going to be super interesting. Let's say Hamilton does 8 laps. He might. The question mark is: does Lewis have to pit into a shit fight, or is Lewis risking this, knowing that they don't think they can hold up to the McLarens? I think Mercedes are on pace outright looking for a 4-5. I think what Karun has just said is an early safety car gamble, which is weird from P3. Gambling from P3 is weird because certainly, based on what we know so far on merit, Mercedes do not have a chance to challenge Red Bull this weekend. That's just everything. There's no information that we've observed this weekend that says Mercedes can challenge Red Bull. I think Mercedes will be holding off McLaren's is what we'll see. You know, so we're pulling off of the grid now. We've got Max and Lewis or Russell pulling away right now. Turbo GSR says the split strategy. Yeah, but if it was the split, would you not split on a hard? But I think that goes back to what we said before the race. The fact that probably the hard and medium can both do 18 laps. I'm surprised not to see more people on a hard for the race start. Goodbye, Barry. Okay, so just a good point. So if you're looking on the TV or on the multi-viewer feed here, and you see the laps that we have from on the tire, the laps on the tire include in and out laps, and Pirelli has not counted those laps. So you have to take 2 numbers off of that. So if we're looking at this, Max can do 18 laps. Russell can do 15 laps on this tire. Is that right? No, he can do 13 laps. So, yeah. Max has to stop by lap 18, and Russell will have to stop by lap 13. But this lap will be counted on the tires after we're finished. Max says the battery is not charging. Interesting. We'll see what happens there. I don't think the hard has a disadvantage. It only counts for hard or used tires. So anybody on a new tire is maximum 18 laps. We're going to see the hard tire in this race. Val, we're on 43 seconds delay. I see formation lap, attendance 120,000 people. There's no way this race is sold out. There's no way. I mean, there's a shitload of people there. Maybe it is sold out. I've lied. Right, so I've got the Mercedes passing the DRS board on my screen right now. Perez still in the garage, about to roll out. Yeah, I think we're going to have some chaos. The stewards and the FIA and the teams are going to have a little bit of a shit fight on this. Who has Rosberg cursed this race, by the way? We haven't talked about the Rosberg curse in a while. Midden, who have we talked about? I've moved my delay from 30 seconds to 40 seconds, or 43 seconds to help out. Perez is starting from the pit lane because he's changed power unit elements. Miss Hellcat. Yeah, we talked about that way earlier. So I'm on board with Alonso's helmet cam right now. They're on the grid. That new helmet, Max's new helmet, looks good. From the spreadsheet? Yeah, exactly, dude. So we're on the grid right now. We got the green flag in the back of the field, waiting for those lights. Let's go. We've got 1. We got 2. We've got 3. What next? 4. We got 5. Is Hamilton gonna get a banger of a start on that soft tire? He's got to. He's got to. He does get an excellent start on the red sidewall tire. He's squeezing with Russell. No, Verstappen. Oh, and they collide! The Mercedes! No! He shuts the door! No! Hamilton all the way. Hamilton gets an amazing start. And does Hamilton turn into Russell? Oh my God. Russell's Bottas has got damage as well. Oh my God. What was that, man? Not lap 1. Not lap 1. Lots of people locking up in the background. Hamilton's we're gonna have a safety car. Russell has damage. Russell has damage. We've got a safety car. Let's go to the replay. I mean, what is this? Russell down to P17. Okay, so Russell has a puncture, front left puncture. We have a full safety car. Hamilton is in the gravel. Hamilton's okay. Right, so let's look at the race start. Piastri is up 4. Piastri is up into P2, capitalizing, keeping his nose clean in all the chaos. Alonso Leclerc up 1. Norris up 4 and Ocon up 3. Lots of huge moves. Russell down. Sainz didn't start. Hamilton out. I'm really interested to see this replay because it's very likely going to be a racing incident. But Hamilton, he's waiting to stare George down. He's standing there like, what the hell? But George is going through the pit lane, obviously, so... Stewards say racing incident, which Most likely. Russell's going on to the hard tire. Why do that in turn 1? Wait. I thought he was putting hards on. Correction, Russell's gone on to mediums. The lighting on the back shot was weird. Russell on mediums. Replay. So, Hamilton gets a really good start, crowding Russell. They move out of the way. They're playing nice. And then he just goes around the outside. It's 3 into 1. Just touched it. I mean, I think Russell squeezed him, but that's pretty silly, honestly. I mean, that's on Hamilton. Hamilton fully to blame. I'm not going to put that on Twitter, but because, yeah. So, I mean, Hamilton's keeping pressure on him. Hamilton keeps George from going past Max, which is fine. And then Hamilton just drives across. Got taken. I think Lewis took himself out of that one. Unfortunate. Did Hamilton cross the track on foot? I think he knows better than that, but... Why keep him from overtaking him? That's a great point, but they're racing for themselves right now. I mean, there's no championship, really. It's just a... I mean... George, he turned into me, Russell. That was a desperate lap 1 move. Everybody in that garage knows what happened there. Russell at the back of the field. Piastri's point of view, this should be good. He's going to keep his nose clean and take loads of cars. Oh, yes. And the outside loses out and Piastri goes through. Well done. See, Lewis walked past the track, straight past Russell. Alonso saw his life. Yeah, and to be fair, Leclerc did as well. Told you yesterday we'd get a Russell punt. I don't think that was a Russell punt. Yeah, I think he wanted to make a point to George, but... I don't know why just Russell's apologizing, honestly. That drone guy, welcome to the stream, man. Sainz did not start the race because he had a fuel cell issue. They couldn't fix his car before the race start. Laps under safety car do count. Yep. I think Russell was clear, honestly. Wait, did they... This whole race is going to be a safety car race? Yeah, the scooter guy is about to go into the... So now that they've done a couple of laps under the safety car, some of these people are looking at this, and we've got lots of people driving through the pit lane to put on a new set of tires. I mean, we're on lap 4. Oh, a bit of racing there between the Haas and the... Was that Alonso? Oh, Lance. Yeah, they can reuse the tires, and I think you might be seeing them rewrapping some of those. So everybody that was on softs has bit the bullet, stopped, and gone onto a medium. And the only we've got Perez and Lawson on hard tires right now. Maybe they don't think the hard is good. Russell is Russell knows that he didn't go anywhere. I think honestly, I think Russell feels. I don't think like Russell likes fucking with Hamilton, like wheel banging with them. You think Stroll forgot that the overtaking rules during safety car don't apply in the pit lane? They don't apply in between the safety car lines. What did Russell or what did Toto say? Right, Max is backing everybody up. They are literally stationary at turn 13. Piastri smoking, probably just brakes. He's making sure to keep the brake square. And Max just said, "Yeet." Max just left him sleeping. Sainz did not start the race, Jesse. He had a fuel cell issue, so he did not even take the grid. Is Russell having a look at Perez right now? No. Russell, a lot of people on cold tires having snaps and moments. You're going to have to leave a lot of margin. We saw what happened yesterday in the sprint race. We could see even more of that here today. But Perez on the hards looking okay, and Russell on the mediums looking... the hard looks like a terrible tire to restart on. I don't think you want to restart this race on the hard. Sergio looks like he's having a tough time. Who's to blame for the Hamilton crash? Hamilton. Clear. I mean, Hamilton was in the right to try and block Russell behind Max. Russell barged his way out of that, and they're three abreast, and Hamilton leaves no room for him. I don't think it matters, but they've lost a car out of the race, and, you know, Russell's in P14. Alonso in P3. Let's get 5 more laps and see how the gaps are looking right now. Verstappen's pulled a gap, and then everybody behind him is still in DRS, so... Hulkenberger on the outside of Tsunoda. Easy. Good grip. Hulkenberg and Tsunoda are on mediums as well. Hulkenberg, incorrect starting location. Did Hulkenberg take Sainz's grid slot? Has Russell done him? Yeah, Russell's done Perez. That hard. Oof. I think he might have moved up in the Sainz slot. And that's on the race engineer. But that's completely on the driver and race engineer to clarify that. You can't, like, when you're a team like Haas, you can't make stupid decisions like that. Look at this. And he knows he's in the wrong spot. His engineers should have been like, you know what grid slot you're taking? You're taking this one. You need to leave the spot for that. That's fucking shambolic. I'm really annoyed about that. What are the consequences for the engineer and stuff like that? They'll have a conversation about it. Blame culture is not, there's no place for blame culture in Formula One, but that is a massive operational issue. Or Hulkenberg fucked it up. Yeah, that's a great point as well. Have you seen F1 Twitter? F1 Twitter is not part of F1. It's an echo chamber of idiots that surround F1. Inside of teams, there should not be a blame culture, so. Oh! Alonso! A little bit wide. So let's look at the gaps. We're 3 laps after the safety car, maybe 4 laps. Verstappen, a 1.6-second gap to Piastri. And I really cannot tell you if Verstappen is managing pace or not. Very few people. Gasly's got DRS on Norris. Red Bull has very good tire management because they have such good pace and they can lose pace, save tires with. I mean, they're going the same pace as everybody else, but they've got a tire advantage. Kevin Magnussen and Lance, let's go. Lance is moving up, but yeah, somebody made the great point. Russell crashed out, went to the back, and he's ahead of Stroll. On board with George Russell, sending it on a show. Russell's kind of a little cheeky bugger this weekend, hey? Russell's on a mission, yeah. Let's see if he doesn't burn up his tires. So Russell should be able to go to lap 20 on what we see below. Is that correct? Yeah, it's a used tire, so they can go. You can take -2 off that number. I'm fairly certain that is correct. So Russell can, because it's a used tire, you take 2 laps off it for the in and out lap that it's been previously used. When you have high speed downforce and low drag, I mean those are high downforce, low drag don't really go together, and for the most part, some cars may be more or less efficient. But if you run lower drag, you don't necessarily get to underfuel the car because you could spend more time full throttle. It's not a 1-to-1 kind of thing there at all. But on it from a new tire, if it doesn't have the slash through it on the timing screen, they can go to 18. Strategy for Perez on the hard. So let's look at Perez's lap times. He's up Zhou's gearbox, so he's probably being pace limited. He is a 1.5 seconds slower than Max in clean air at the front of the race, but I don't think we can take Perez's pace info yet on the hard. But clearly, Russell's come through from behind Perez, and he's moving up. Tsunoda pits off a 9-lap-old medium. I'm not sure what's up with that. I'm not sure why Perez is struggling to get around Zhou. Hard's too hard. Yeah, I mean, also the hard in traffic, if it's limiting your pace, it could be limiting the amount of temperature that you put into it, and it might maybe the hard is a lot worse than we thought it was. I mean, Russell might have damage, but he's doing pretty damn well from where he was. Loads of track limits so far. Gasly, Alonso, Magnussen, Zhou, Ocon, Lawson, and Russell and Bottas have a track limits. Thanks, Crofty. Beat you to it. A frightened rabbit on Halloween. What an awesome dude. If you want to see track limits, it's in multi-viewer for F1. Okay, so I think even the commentators don't understand the tire rules at this point. If it's a new set of tires, the screen on our side can only say 18. Sam asked, when the drivers are making adjustments on the fly, are they making overall lap adjustments or corner per corner? Both. Usually it depends on how much capacity the driver has, but they might make one change a lap. But yeah. Leclerc says 18, but since it's a used tire, he can go to lap 20 in the data that we see here. Alonso in. Alonso in from P3. Okay. I think people are not loving the hard. They might see what happens and bang a soft on at the end. So if you're just tuning in now, like our buddy Pirelli Condoms, Russell and Hamilton tangled on lap 1. Perez started from the pit lane, and Sainz did not start the race because of fuel cell issue. Piastri's jumped up from P6 to P2. Alonso was running in P3, but he's pit. Lawson has 3 track limits violations, so Lawson is very likely to get a 5-second penalty. Yeah, I think Alonso was early. Russell behind Williams. Let's watch this replay. Yeet! Well, I think Albon knew that his fight wasn't with George, so thank you, mods. I appreciate you guys. Piastri in. Piastri in. Okay. Piastri in 2 laps early. Not a terrible stop, but not a great one either. Multiviewer F1 works pretty well. It's fantastic. I would not watch Formula 1 without it. I can't. All right, so let's see what Piastri does. Pit loss about 26 seconds. Roughly 25, 26 seconds. Norris is in now as well. So if Norris pits, I expect him to come out 37 seconds, which puts him behind Alonso. Alonso's got Leclerc. It looks like Hamilton squeezed George. There's no other way to talk about that, honestly. Right, Norris in the pits. Piastri undercut over Verstappen? No. Good stop for Norris. So Norris to come out just behind Alonso, I reckon. Oh, even further back. Okay. No, that's correct. I did get that right. Look at me. So about 26-second pit lane time. Russell has to pit at the end of the next lap. Sandy, yeah, Max could save tires, and you will be saving tires through 13, 14, 15. Barry, if you knock anything out, I'm going to be so... I mean, he's 21 seconds off, so... Alonso past Leclerc. A little bit of understeer. Oof. Hulkenberg with a terrible stop. We missed it. Bottas and Russell have 2 track limits, by the way. I saw Rosberg just took a picture of the Red Bull. Maybe Hulkenberg did serve his 10-second penalty in that stop, yeah. So Albon's 21 seconds off the race lead. If Albon pits, he comes out behind Tsunoda. Norris is saying the pace is strong. Let's make sure we take advantage of it. On board with Piastri on the Haas. A very inspiring overtake down the straight. That's not a dig at Piastri. It's just, yeah. Overcut strong or undercut strong? I have no idea. Yeah, they have to take the penalty in the pits. So I'm sure Hulkenberg has served that already. Yeah, Verstappen has to pit in the next 2 laps, but he's setting purples right now. So at the end of this tire, he's going... I mean, let's look at fastest laps. I mean, Verstappen's not even the fastest in any sector, and he's gone purple. Yeah, I think Max is pitting at the end of this lap. I think Max is on an in lap, you're right. Yeah, take everything left out of the tires and burn them up. Max has set a purple sector 2, so fastest sector 2 of the race. If they're not knackered, he might go again. Let's see. Is Max staying out or boxing? There's a lot of people wheeling to wheel. Safety car would give them a benefit. He's not pitting. Yep, stay out. Yeah, I mean, if there's a safety car, he wins. So, yeah, he's going to do the full allowance. So David has an interesting question. Car rules change in 2026, so teams will spend less than 24 and 25. Possibly, but I'm not sure because I don't know how clear the teams are on the 2026 regulations. So from the chassis point of view, it's not clear. And I think there's still question marks on the PU side. So the PUs will be full push, but the cars, yeah, I don't know. Andy, we believe that the entire pit lane lost time is about 25 to 26 seconds, including the stationary time. So Max, I think, will come out behind Perez. Or on top of Perez at this rate. Perez has set a purple sector 3 on the last lap as well. Piastri easy. With a little wobble there. The wobble at the apex of turn 1. Is this a nightmare for strategists? Not really. It's easier. The only issue is checking your spreadsheets that you know how many laps you can do on each tire, you know? So Verstappen ahead of or behind or right on top of Perez? It's not clear. Pirelli Condoms in the chat says, sorry about the bad tires. We'll work on it for next time. Alex Albon leads the Qatar Grand Prix. And Verstappen... Okay, no, I think you're right. Oh, never mind. Perez is in the pit lane, that's why. Albon has to pit. Albon has 2 more laps. So this one and 1 more. So what are we looking at? Norris is DRS gap to Leclerc. He's on a different strategy. Yeah, the car is a different strategy. Okay, Albon's come in. He's on a different planet right now. I'm stealing that. No Albon defense? I know. Right, so Verstappen has extended his gap to Piastri, I believe, from the end of the last point when they were both on track, I believe. Yeah, Ryan says the TV direction's been a little bit late to some of the overtakes. It's difficult. Okay, neither Verstappen nor either of the McLarens with any track limits at the moment. Russell is really naughty into turn 6. Okay, yep, so correct, Sabu. Max was about 3 seconds to Piastri when Piastri pit on the last stint. So Max basically has pace in hand to go longer, effectively. Previously, though, most of the overtakes were on the start-finish, and we're seeing quite a few overtakes on the start-finish today. But we keep seeing Russell and other people overtaking on track. Perez motoring past Albon. Easy. Hamilton with a very calculated and calm response to that. I think he knows what he's doing in terms of just thinking about it and processing it and being able to say the right thing. I don't feel like there's a whole lot for them. Well, I guess if you care about P2 or whatever, but I don't think many people do. So a bummer for them, but he's obviously thought about it, and he says he hasn't seen the replay. Max is the perfect F1 driver. Formula One hates this simple trick. Norris past Stroll, easy. That was a good, mature, calculated response from the 7-time world champion there. Alpine and Russell and my feed is just frozen actually. Can you show the tire chart? No. I'll have to change some stuff. I can't show it right now when I've got the race up. Mercedes PR team are strong, but they're doing all right. Oh, yeah, that's a track. But like, you shouldn't get track limits for shit like that. But Gasly didn't really need to give him that much space. Gasly didn't need to give room. It wasn't done. Red Bull, no, I've never seen pumpernickel bread in the Red Bull catering, if that's what you're saying. Norris up to P4. 4 seconds to Alonso. Norris he's doing 129.1s. Alonso's doing 28.5. So Alonso's a little bit faster than him still. Piastri's holding the gap to Verstappen. I think Verstappen might be managing this. I mean, he's only 0.3 off of his fastest lap, so I don't think Verstappen's super managing. Stroll on an outlap, racing Bottas. He came out a second behind Bottas. Yeah, Leclerc is nearly 2 seconds off of Verstappen. Great comment. 1 second. Albon's slowing. Gasly being told target +6. A good observation from I'm the secret ingredient. How short was the stint supposed to be? Yeah. A 10-lap stint. Throw 6 on it. Easy. Albon's helmet's fucking cool, isn't it? Is that Russell past Ocon? No, Russell past Gasly, sorry. Track limits, 5 seconds. Yeah, I mean, that could be the difference between Albon getting points or not. Right, people that have one more track limit, then they get a 5-second penalty. Albon, Lawson, and Bottas. Valtteri Bottas. Verstappen leading 8 to Piastri. No change in that gap. Well managed. Norris closing the gap to Alonso right now. Yeah, Max is cruising, basically doing laps very similar to his fastest lap. So the tire situation and the stint length that they've imposed is due to the high loads of turn 13, 14, and the curbs. Lando's been given the 100% pace, please. So Lando is pushing to end this stint. 26-second pit stop will put him 42. If Norris pits now, he'll come out behind Hulkenberg. I am listening to the commentary as well. But after spending like 6 years listening to 50 things in my ears at the same time and talking to an engineer on the intercom, like when you're a performance engineer, you probably have more channels live in your ears than anybody else, because all you have to do is give feedback to people and ask people questions and look at the data. But yeah, I've got the commentary going in the background and I'm talking at the same time over them, and I'm listening to what they're saying at the same time usually. It's just something you get used to doing, because like as a performance engineer, you'd have strategist, race engineer, driver, control systems engineers all having different conversations. And then you still have to do work. Yeah, I think probably having me and the commentary as well. And for you guys just listening to me, I do my best to mention the most important things from the commentary as well. Alonso's got 2 more. Piastri's... So, is it Gasly struggling with the energy deployment? We just need Blake in the commentary. If I told you I was working on it, would you believe me? Right, so we've got an Alpine coming in. They've got tires. A Piastri in. I think Piastri behind Bottas, or ahead of Bottas, sorry. Piastri coming up between Hulkenberg and Bottas. No, I've completely... Hey. The pit loss is lower than I thought. You've got me in the headphones when the cat demands to be fed mid-race. Yeah. Perez is getting 5-second penalty. Perez 5-second penalty. So Alonso's got heat in the back of his seat. Yeah, Perez 5-second penalty. That's 4. Russell pushing. Russell set purple sector 1 and purple sector 2. You like the data on the stream? Well, I don't think Sky can change anything. And the tower that you see on the TV is up to F1, and F1 have to cater to a wide audience. If you guys here love nerding out, this is the place to be, and then watch me on one screen and the broadcast on the other, and you get everything. But I would really, really, I think it'd be super cool to be able to try and see if I could contribute to the broadcast team and add another perspective and insight. Because you notice Bernie's not there every weekend, and when Bernie's on, I feel like Bernie seriously completes and elevates that coverage of the race. And I feel like my point of view from Bernie's is different. But if you guys like hanging out here, I feel like there's a lot of other people that would be like, wow, that's really nice to know those kind of things. So, you got me? Russell, easy podium without it? Yeah. I mean, yeah, Perez is, yeah. They Andretti cars. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think it depends. And also, one of the things you notice when Bernie's there in the broadcast, it's even when it's not her talking, she's feeding Crofty and Karoon really good bits as well. So even though you don't hear her, she has a huge impact on the broadcasts. Even when she's not speaking, she's feeding other people info when she's there at the track. Good stops. I feel like F1 TV have a lot of tech people already, but one of these days, we'll keep working on it, guys. People definitely ask more interesting questions with her around. They do. Piastri on Albon. Oof. I mean, Piastri's not wasting any time, but they're giving each other plenty of space, and Piastri's keeping it clean. Yeah, but at the same time, you don't have to go as deep into the tech stuff simply. But still, I think having insight to help. Also, you can help guide the other guys to ask better questions and talk about things, and then I or Bernie will see stuff that the commentators don't see. Russell's current tire set? No. I believe he has to stop at the end of lap 17 because they will start on 0. So when it says 17, after he's crossed the line, it goes to 17. I believe he has to pit in. How deep do you like it? That's a great question. Yeah, Miles, fair enough. I'm talking to people. We'll see what happens, but I like hanging out here with you guys as well. So Perez has got 4, Albon 3, Lawson 3, Bottas 3 on track limits. Albon asking his engineers a good question. He's like, I can't tell who we're racing, so you need to give me an idea if these people are a threat to my race or if I just need to let them go. My multi-viewer setup is main feed, 2 car feeds, timing on the right, race control, and AI radio, driver limits, and track map. Just pause the video, rewatch it, and that's it. Super simple. I'll put a screenshot of it later in the Discord. How about that? I'll do it now. I'll do it right now. It'll be in the F1 general. I'll paste it. There's the TV feeds will be blacked out because the DRM. But yeah. I've just posted my multi-viewer layout in the Discord. How many screens? 1. I want to add a second one, but right now I've got 1. Stroll said white button turn 7. I'm not sure. Possibly, maybe that's a toggle button that changes diff or brake balance or engine braking on the fly. Raj, one suggestion. What's up, dude? And if you guys haven't joined the Discord, there's the link right there. It's a pretty awesome Formula One community as well. Lots of people were always chatting about what's going on. I think you guys will like it. Which feed your cat monitors? My cat doesn't watch the feed. If Verstappen pits now, he'll come out behind Russell. Raj, I am trying to get Multiviewer to add a map. I'm trying to add a map, and I can't do it yet. So GP's just saying you can go a little bit faster, but not a lot of bit faster. So Max can go basically 4 more laps, including this one. Leclerc's down in P11. Now, GP's not unleashing him. He just gave him a little bit more chain on the link. Cyan asks, am I the only one who is low-key checked out with all the stops? I agree with you. I don't think 3-4 stops is good for F1. 2 stops, great. All right, Russell has 1 more stop than everybody else. I have no idea what's happening. Perez in. Perez serving a 5-second. Yeah, I mean, 3-4 stops is too much for an hour-and-a-half race, honestly. 2 stops is great, especially when you have tires and other viable strategies. But when you only have really 1 viable strategy and everything else is a Hail Mary. Ugh. The forced soft, medium, hard actually takes away variability, and I don't like the soft, medium, hard because you basically just say, here's your stop laps. Yeah, Russell has 1 more stop because of the start. Okay, it's only 1 lap difference, so yeah. Why is Ferrari struggling this much? I don't know. Maybe the track surface or the wind? Sam, I'm doing well. How are you doing today, mate? Mono driver, what happened to Hamilton? All caps, 20 question marks. He tried turning into his teammate on lap 1. Unfortunately, is what it looked like. But happens. Right, Russell in. Albon on hards looks rough. Yeah, those hards and so Albon on a fresh set of hards. Mono driver. I got you, homie. Welcome to stream. I don't know, like let's do a quick poll and see what you guys think, honestly. Oh, who's off? Alonso. Where is that? I started a poll in the YouTube, if you guys are here live on the stream. Do you think 3 or 4 stops is too much? Yes or no? Also, if you're watching this back later, leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. And also, if you're watching the stream right now and you're enjoying hanging out, definitely hit the like button. Makes me really happy. What happened? I mean, Alonso's having quite a few moments getting quite far. But the amount of the... Wow. Wow! That was a sketchy rejoin from Alonso. Oof. Is it easy to follow is the question, really. The rejoin, though? Yeah. Unsafe as. Yeah, fair enough. Max is in. Helen Watson says, I've not got a clue what's going on. I've got a rough idea what's going on because everybody's on the same sequence. It's just when somebody doesn't, like when somebody stops early, then you kind of like don't know what they have left. The only person who hasn't stopped a second time is Zhou. Zhou needs to stop one more. Zhou has to stop twice more, sorry. I think Russell's P5 on merit. Piastri is closing the gap to Verstappen as Verstappen's on an outlap, though. So right now, Verstappen's on an outlap and Piastri's 6.5 seconds behind. Logan says he's struggling, man. I mean, it's hot as hell and humid out there. And maybe if he's fighting something or not feeling well, this will completely F you over. I mean, yeah. McLarens are on a medium, so they have to run. They might run a soft at the end, or they might have to run a hard. I don't think the hard is very good, honestly. I've never been to Qatar, Helen. I wasn't racing in 2021. I almost had to go to fill in for a performance engineer, but I didn't go. Yeah, so he said. So Logan, Val says Logan was feeling fine, and he started feeling unwell, stomach issues during the race. Esteban and Lance, nice. Was it Weber in China? Yeah, Weber in China just barfed in his helmet. Russell purple lap 25.7, absolutely cooking. He's 9/10 faster than anybody else has gone on a hard. Russell set the race fastest lap on a hard. So Verstappen's on a hard now. He's setting personal best. The track isn't ramping that up. The Piastri to Verstappen, 6 seconds. I mean, Russell's got 12 seconds to Norris. Interesting. Russell's getting his hard out of the way. Will the McLarens go well in the hard, or will they go enough to be able to fit the shaft at the end? I think they're going to go to a hard. Russell has theoretically 2 more stops, I believe. Max is done. Javier, you reckon he's washed, bro? Max has done a 26 flat, but Russell's doing mid 26s right now. Yeah, as Andy said, if Russell does max stint links on the next 2 stints, but he's got all he'll have left is burned up mediums, so it won't be a 3-lap stint. No, Max will have to stop again. We've got 20 laps left, and he's 3 laps sold on a hard. Max will fit a used medium or a used soft at the end. Now Max has only done 2 stops. It's his 3rd stint. Dude, honestly, I get that confused so often. GP just said split balance 2 laps. Yep, okay, so they're going to split. Red Bull are going to split the stints in the end. Sam asked, do you still talk to people at Red Bull? I do. I mean, I live near where Red Bull is, and most of my friends around here are people from F1 or from Red Bull. It's just what happens when you work in that industry for so long. I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of cool people in the creators space, but most of those people live in London. Paris is getting another penalty. Yep, so he's gone. Is it track limits again, then you get another 5 second? Or does he need 4 more? No, it's a straight up another penalty. Which garage is Paddock memes from? I don't know, but that account on Instagram is hilarious. So Perez with another 5 second penalty. He doesn't want to score any points today, apparently. It's because he's exceeded the track limits again. Perez has 5 track limits. Why did you leave the industry? I did the same thing for 10 years and 4 years of simulator performance engineering. My job got very rinse repeat, and I wasn't too excited about the future of the sport. So I wanted to take a dive and do something else. And initially I wanted to do gaming content, but I was like, you know what? Why don't I lean into trying to teach people about Formula One? And the cool thing about having to teach people about Formula One or anything is you have to do a good job of learning about that thing. Because when you try to teach it, as my old boss told me, my boss James Napton said, he's like, you identify holes in your knowledge and you have to learn more. Hugh is not happy with Perez. I'm pretty sure the person on Paddock memes is at least working for a team. Sports cars in 25, maybe. Doesn't look like sports cars next year, dude. America's Choice, dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the best way to learn about it, more about a subject, is to teach it. I agree with you completely. Bottas in and Stroll in. Piastri at an 8 second gap. He's all right. Norris is closing the gap, though. Robbie, what's going on, man? Dude, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I hope the race has been fun. We're just catching up. Dude, the race has been fun. And if you want, be sure to check out the replay and sync up with it from the beginning, or hang out with us here live. And just a heads up for anybody tuning in, if you look out on Google Podcasts and Spotify, and soon coming to Apple Music, there's now the Break F1 podcast, where I put all of my analytical content and a couple of other conversation and deep dives. I'm still doing the engine braking podcast, but this is like a really stuff that I want to do, like brake tech, conversations with other engineers, and it'll be more in brand with me. Gasly, Alonso, Stroll, Albon, Lawson, Bottas all have 3 ticks. Any good books to learn the engineering of F1 cars? This is a really good book. It's called The Fundamental of Vehicle Dynamics. Great book. I think Sargent's boxing it. Yeah, Logan's retiring. Raj, that's a great question. I don't know, mate. Yeah, I think Logan is on the struggle bus, man. Meat of the week, I know, man. And he's just being a troll, Sam. He's just goofing with you. Are you an SAE member? No. Yeah, Andy's just having a joke, man. Andy's a homie. Kyle Engineers is good aero stuff. Absolutely, Joe. I think I'm not an aero guy, and I don't like CFD, and that is just not my thing. I'm more into like the whole picture and how do you use that stuff. But that's like really nitty gritty details for aero nerds. So definitely Kyle Engineers, exactly. Have you read How to Build a Car? No, but I do have a copy of it autographed by Adrian. I haven't read it yet. Yeah, there's no transonic race cars, is there? Are transonic flows even a thing in race cars? Is Max going to put on softs? No, I don't think so. Max has another set of mediums. Yeah, he'll go mediums easy. Lando Piastri, I mean, Norris is hanging out at 3 seconds off Piastri, so. I mean, what's Leclerc doing? Because Leclerc's been in the mud, and Leclerc's in sync with everybody, but he's going to have to stop again. I don't know. I'm struggling. Yeah. Stroll 5-second penalty. So he's going to go from P13 having just stopped. He'll have to stop again. Will he? No, Stroll's going to get a 5-second penalty applied at the end of his race. Because he'll be at 17. Turbo, what do you guys think? Who's running what? Let's do a quick poll, chat. What's higher end of race? What are you guys fitting? There's a question in the YouTube chat. I'll wait to see what you guys think. 2.4. All right, Piastri's in. So they're both going to stop at some point. So Piastri's going to have to make up the gap. He's going to have a great pit stop. Good pit stop for Piastri. That's going to play in favors. He's going to have a great outlap pushing. The tires maybe are not entirely up to temperature, but he'll have to work them hard and stay on the track. He has only 2 track limits warnings, and we're going to have to see what happens. Yeah, so about 26 seconds pit lane time. Piastri's out on the hard. Piastri now is on the hard. So that's going to be even trickier for Piastri on his outlap. We'll come back later in the Buy Me a Coffee analysis. And if you want to check out break.com, if you like the data analysis stuff, that will send you to my Buy Me a Coffee page where I give you guys all the deep dives and data details. There we go. Yeah, for soft tires, Stefan says you'll need to have less than 10 laps to go. You're probably not wrong there. So the McLaren had to fit the hard because they've only fit mediums, which I've missed, obviously. Norris is in this lap as well, and he's going to have to go out on the hard. So let's see if Norris gets a good pit stop here. All right. Norris is stationary. Good positioning. Mechanics are moving quickly. Great stop from the McLaren crew there. Verstappen's... Nah, he's good. Are they going to be side by side? So, pit limiter open. I mean, Piastri's right in front of him, and I think Norris will lose a little bit of position to him. But definitely, Norris pushed pretty well. I think at the end of the outlap, Norris probably 2.5 behind. Piastri v Norris to the end of the race. This is the race we're looking for. Verstappen is not racing anybody. Verstappen is... Yeah, he'll be 10 seconds ahead of everybody. Yeah, Perez still out of the points. Well, he's got a... Yeah. Do you need to prove the DNF? I don't think so. McLaren battle, I love it. Logan struggling to get out of the car. Like, I mean, that's a valid reason to retire. So he's not had a good time of it, man. I hope he can turn it around and have a good end of the season. Imagine if Perez just bonked Max out of the race. Oh, Gasly's got another 5-second incoming as well. Yeah. Bonk. And Gasly's just stopped as well. Oof. Out of the points for that. Russell, when Russell pits, he'll be way behind Norris. 25. 14. He'll come out at 50 seconds, so he'll come out behind Norris ahead of Leclerc. Yeah, Verstappen laps Perez. Ouch. So, Piastri to Norris gap about 2.1 right now. What? So let's look at the championship battle right now as it stands. As it stands right now, McLaren are plus 28 points. Aston are due to score 7. I'm not sure where their stops are. Ferrari plus 10 to that. They're not going to race Max. And they're going to score the most points of any team right now. They need to, yeah. Norris isn't going to battle Max, so that's not their race. I get it. I get it, honestly. So let's look at the championship, right? The championship is McLaren are currently in P5 with 214 points. If they freeze it here, they are only 15 points behind Aston, and they've got a decent way to go to Ferrari. Mercedes, yeah. I mean, they basically need to try to be beating Ferrari in the last couple of races. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If Piastri can't go any faster, swap them and then swap them back at the end. Do what Alpine did the other race. I mean, Piastri's earned this result. Bravo 10, position 4. It doesn't make sense. So, I'll explain what that means quickly. So there's two rotaries. There's a multifunction A and a multifunction B rotary. And inside of multifunction A and B, there's 12 or 14 switch rotaries. And then once you say take rotary B, put it to position Bravo 4, set the rotary to position 4, and then you push the plus button, the plus 10 button, basically, to select settings under that menu. It doesn't make sense! Somebody, whoever sends me that audio clip in Discord gets a high five. Yep. Albon's been hit with another 5. GP silent on the radio. He's like, just let it go. Williams fan is sad. It wasn't like this is not a Williams track, man. Don't be sad. Multi Delta 8 to green. Colors. That's cute. I think a lot of people are sad this weekend. I'm exhausted. Like, after the race is over, I'm going to go cook dinner and go close my eyes on the sofa until midnight. Russell, when does he pit? 7 to go. He's going for a soft, isn't he? Russell on a cheeky little soft. Drop pass to add Andretti. Yeah, send it. Russell's just chilling there. I mean, it's hot in these cars. Russell's visor is open right now. Yeah, Russell's visor is open on track. Dude, Russell's struggling, man. That's hot. That was awesome to see the onboard from Russell's face during the pit stop. Russell on the softs. Let's go. So can Russell chase down and overtake? Let's look at the gap. Russell is plus 14 on the outlap. So 14, 15-second gap to Norris. He's got 6 laps to go 2 seconds a lap. Relative pace. 25s. I mean, Norris isn't going slow right now. Let's see his first proper timed lap, and we'll see if it's possible. A 4.1 second stop for Verstappen. Absolutely washed pit crew. Fastest lap on track right now is a 124.8. Let's see what Russell's first actual lap is. He's on a 3-lap used soft. The mediums are safe. The mediums are safe. You don't... Oh, front left slow. There's a brake drum seal loose on the front left of the Red Bull. The visor clips, yeah. It's real sweat because they're athletes. I think it is quite risky. Like a piece of dust or gravel, it's a hole in your skull. Why do they spin the... It's one of the camera guys loves to do that. It's so weird. Gasly around the outside. Oh. Oh. Is that another one for Gasly? Is Gasly going to get another 5-second? Come on, Gasly. I think Gasly will have to try again. Norris 1.7 to Piastri. I mean, he's pushing on it. He's pushing on it. Lucas, I have no idea, mate. He's got 2 5-second penalties. Yeah, who knows? Nobody else has to stop to the end of this, I believe. Except for Zhou, and who's in the pits now. That's the final round of stops, I believe. Lawson will finish dead last on track, it looks like, at this rate. I don't want to see this. Yeah, Russell 126.7. The soft isn't the one. Russell, no. Yeah, Russell's like, yeah, this tire doesn't have it. Let's just bring it home. Don't lose anything to Leclerc. Leclerc is 8 seconds behind. Easy. We've got a replay of the Perez, Stroll, and Gasly action. Javier's got a question. Do teams get a monetary incentive for finishing well in the championship? It depends on the team. I've seen 2 different schemes in the 2 teams I've worked at, but yeah. Stroll's going to get a point, and Perez, Stroll might get... Has Perez not overtaken Stroll yet? Oh my god, Stroll gets a 5-second penalty. So that puts Stroll back to P11. I'm over this. I'm over this. Norris 1.5 to Piastri. Piastri 4 seconds to Verstappen. Has Perez not sold? The thing is, it's impossible to... Oh my god. Gasly's got another one. It's impossible to see if they've served the penalties or not yet as well. I'm so over it. Kevin having to lift and coast more. I can't tell if that's for fuel or brakes. Magnussen is 2 seconds behind Albon. Possibly fuel. Show points, possibly. Russell's trying to squeeze out a couple sectors, but it's not a fast tire. Why was Russell's last lap a 29? Russell, who's he overtaken? Why did Russell lose so much time last lap? I think Russell's a bit of a dude, isn't he? I mean, Piastri's slow. He's last lap was a 10th of a second slower than Norris. I think they're there or thereabouts. I'm not sure if Piastri is pushing or if they've just told them, bring it home, lads. Max is chilling at 5 seconds gap. What is Gasly and Perez doing? What the Yeah, Russell's had an off last lap. I spotted it. Will Lando go against team orders? I don't think so. I don't think he will. Final lap. Let's see if he has a go. Russell struggling on that soft, yeah, or maybe Russell's just not feeling it either. I think there's going to be a lot of pretty effed and exhausted drivers, honestly. Gasly 7. Russell P4 from getting bonked out. Well, 3-time world champion wins the race. Fair enough. That's Max about to take the checkered flag. Are we gonna get fireworks here? Fireworks, please? Qatar, come on, fireworks, please. No? McLaren double podium. Crazy race. Was this a crazy race or was it just lap one? If Russell didn't have that crash at the start, no track limits. I think we felt like the tire thing was going to be more chaos than other, but it's just like stop here, stop here. And let me just take a minute to remind you, this is why for an hour and a half long races, I'm not interested in refueling, because it's just like this. You remove your strategy. You know the fuel tank size. You know how many laps you can go. That is why I don't like refueling in sprint type races. Like refueling would just be like, cool. Yeah, you can, you've got a 12 laps tank. Great. Doesn't change anything. Joe at a point. Perez P9, Bottas P8. Championship standings. Alfa Romeo have overtaken Haas this race. Williams in 7th. No other changes. Everybody's doing a 3-stop. There is no strategy. Correct. Yep. So, podiums for the McLarens again. I mean, the McLaren, the way they've turned that McLaren car around is nothing short of phenomenal. Max was holding a 5-second gap most of the final stint, so it wasn't a huge difference. But the McLarens were fast. Max was managing it, and Max takes the win for the Qatar Grand Prix. I don't know what you guys thought about that race. I enjoyed it. I liked it, but I do not like the mandated 18-lap stints. Mercedes had an absolute struggle. Alfa Romeo have overtaken Haas in the Constructors' Championship by 3 points now. Perez, disappointing race. Hamilton's probably pretty bummed out. Russell, a great recovery from basically P nowhere. That was actually a pretty insane drive worth checking out, honestly. But yeah, I think this race was a pretty mid race, and I'm kind of wondering why I don't remember it from 2021. Maybe it's this again. But let me just quickly remind you guys, if you guys enjoy Formula One data, check out break.com. That will take you to my Buy Me a Coffee. And don't forget to check out Break F1 podcast on Spotify. It'll come out on Apple Music next week as soon as I fix it. We're going to have all sorts of cool stuff. Tuesday, we'll be back live on YouTube on Engine Breaking for the Engine Breaking podcast. We've had a little bit of a hiatus, but we're getting back moving it. So also join us in the Discord. The Discord link is below. And I just wanted to say thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you guys for the love and hanging out with us today. I had an awesome time, and I cannot wait to see you guys again next week. I will not be streaming for the Austin Grand Prix because I will be in Austin, and I've got some really cool stuff behind the scenes that I'm going to get to share with you guys soon. I don't want to spill the beans yet, but there's going to be some really cool stuff happening. I'll see you guys. Maybe not any live streams, but there will definitely be some short form and long form content coming from Austin, doing some really, really cool stuff. Thank you guys for the company, the chat, the great conversations. Will I be in the paddock? I'm working on it. I'll be at the track. I'll spill the beans next week, probably, all right? I think McLaren's, real quick before we go, just shout out to Turbo GSR, dude. Thank you for the super chats as well. And if McLaren had a works engine that was on par with Ferrari or Honda, could McLaren have been even faster, the real threat to Red Bull Honda? I think that McLaren's limitations have not been their power unit. Their limitations for the last couple of years have been the chassis development and aerodynamics. So they've got a new wind tunnel. They found the direction with their chassis development. So let's see where they go. But seriously, guys, Paris gets another 5-second penalty that drops him out of. Yeah, that drops him back to P10. So I think Joe gets even more points. So yeah, live stream from Austin. I will be. And if anybody's going to be out in Austin, let me know in the Discord, and we'll do like an Austin meetup group in the Discord or something. The Discord link is in the description below. And if you're watching this back later, I'll see you guys soon. I'm gonna go cook some dinner. I'm gonna go tell Barry it wasn't very nice for him to lie on my keyboard and kill the first version of the stream, but yeah, had over 300 peak viewers today, man. I appreciate all of you guys for hanging out and supporting my channel and just helping make this an enjoyable experience. I wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you guys. So Sam, thanks for the vibes as well. Mods, you guys have been excellent today. Yepa, Dana, appreciate you guys. Have a great night. Peace out, Turbo. Peace out, everybody.